Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple player props I like on PrizePicks for Sunday, June the 4th. We have Game 2 of the NBA Finals on Sunday night. I got two player props I want to share with you guys that I'm liking for this game, two props specifically on PrizePicks that I like. Before we do talk through these two plays though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these PrizePicks videos and if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you're new to the channel, if you have never checked out PrizePicks before, you can actually sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code Noah. If you do look at the bottom of the screen when you sign up for PrizePicks with my promo code, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. So be sure to check out PrizePicks. Take a look at all the props they have available for tonight's game or for Sunday's game. I'm making this video on Saturday, but for Sunday's game, PrizePicks did add a lot of new props for the finals. You know, they added stuff like offensive rebounds, points in crunch time. There are some other ones like field goals missed is a new category they added, defensive rebounds. They also have new categories in the first half and the first quarter section as well. They have like minutes played, stuff like that. So, and we're actually going to talk about a minutes played prop that I like in the first quarter as one of our plays for today. But yeah, a bunch of new props on PrizePicks you can take a look at. A lot of these props you see on PrizePicks, they're not available like on any other books or any other DFS sites. This is just stuff that PrizePicks is doing. So get over there, guys. Sign up. Use that promo code Noah. When you do sign up with my promo code, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. And I do want to recap our plays from Game 1 of the finals, which was on Thursday night. You know, didn't get off to a good start for Game 1. We gave out 2 picks in that one and went 0-2. Neither one of our plays hit. We took the over on Caleb Martin's fantasy score, and Caleb Martin just had a really bad game, did not play that well. Minutes got cut a little bit. He had a really bad shooting game. You know, I didn't expect Caleb Martin to continue to shoot as efficiently as he had been in previous games, but also didn't expect him to play as bad as he did in Game 1 of this series. He had like, I think 13 fantasy points, didn't even come close to hitting. And then we took the under on Michael Porter Jr.'s field goals missed. And Michael Porter Jr., man, he was just throwing up bricks all night. I think he shot 5 for 16. He shot 2 for 11 from 3. He missed 11 field goals total, and we took his under 7.5. So that was kind of annoying to watch, you know, MPJ brick so many shots when we had his under field goals missed. Some of those shots, like some of them, I mean, he was missing some wide open threes, and then some of those shots he took were really contested, and I wish he wouldn't take those. But tough start to Game 1, but still, guys, we've been on a nice run lately. Our last 12 picks we've given out on YouTube, we are 8-4 over our last 12 picks. So we're still doing pretty well. Hopefully you guys have been tailing over this stretch, and let's try and get back on track for Game 2 here. So the first prop that we're going to talk about for Game 2 that I like is going to be in the fantasy score category. And I want to talk about Jimmy Butler's fantasy score. This line is at 48.5. I believe this line in Game 1 was at 50.5. Now, Jimmy Butler did go under this line in Game 1. He had a really poor game, only put up 36.9 fantasy points. I think he played a little bit over 38 minutes. Yeah, we're going to see, and we kind of saw in the first game of this series, minutes were high, but they weren't like super, super high for a lot of guys. You'll see as this series progresses, as, you know, each game becomes more important, rotations are going to get tighter, minutes are going to be even more condensed, and with the Heat already down a game in this series, I expect them to, you know, tighten up their rotation a little bit here. I do expect Jimmy to play really big minutes, to continue to play really big minutes. You look at the minutes he's played so far in the playoffs, I mean, he's basically been averaging like close to 40 minutes per game. I mean, there's been a few games where his minutes have been way low, but a lot of those games were blowouts. Like there were some games where he played like 28, 31, 34 minutes, but I'm pretty sure all those games were blowouts. In competitive games, he's been playing about 40 minutes. 36, 38, 39, 41, 41, 41, 42, 43. He only played 38 minutes in Game 1, but I feel like that was a little bit of an anomaly. I mean, if you look at how the game played out last game, the Heat, I mean, they were never really in the game. There was never a point where the Heat like had a chance to win. They were pretty much down for they were down 10 to 15 points for a large majority of the game, and especially like in the second half. And even in the fourth quarter, it was pretty much like a 10 to 15 point game the entire way. So I don't think like Miami really wasn't rushing to get Jimmy back in there just because they didn't really have a chance to win. But I feel like if this game is even remotely competitive, let's say it's like a 5, 6, 7 point game heading into the fourth quarter, you could see Jimmy play maybe like the entire fourth quarter. You could see him play the entire second half. We've seen Jimmy play huge minutes in the postseason. We've seen him play close to the entire game at times. I don't think that's going to happen here, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see that happen later on in the series. But I do expect probably 40-plus minutes here for Jimmy Butler if the Heat keep this game close. They were able to keep game one close enough to where most of the starters played close to their full minutes. I'd assume they keep this one close. I think the spread is like 8.5 again. This game should be close enough to where you do see Jimmy play those final few minutes, probably 40, 41, 42 minutes. And we know that Jimmy Butler is going to be productive when he's on the floor. He's a guy that typically averages around 1.3 fantasy points per minute. And if you do expect Jimmy to play 40 minutes, if you expect him to average about 1.3 fantasy points per minute, you do that math, 40 times 1.3, that's a rough projection of 52. And I feel like that's about where his line should be. I think his line should be like in the low 50s, 50.5, 51.5. I feel like 48.5 is a little bit too low. Even though he had a bad game in game one, I do expect Jimmy Butler to bounce back here, to play better, and we know the minutes, the usage are going to be there. And if you look at this, postseason so far, and you look at like when Jimmy has had a bad game, I don't really like buy into trends too often, but I mean, when Jimmy's had a bad game, he has typically bounced back with a big game. Now, game 2 against Milwaukee, he only put up 38 fantasy points. The next game was a blowout. That was a game that actually I think Miami blew out Milwaukee. So Jimmy only played 28 minutes, but he put up 46 fantasy points in only 28 minutes. But then you look, he put up 41 fantasy points in game 2 against the Knicks, bounced back with 58 the next game, put up 39 fantasy points in game 6 against the Knicks, or game 5 against the Knicks, but then or game 6 I believe that was, but then like game 1 of the Boston series he had a really big game. Game 3 against Boston, he put up 38 fantasy points, but then bounced back with 51 the next game. Game 5 against Boston, he had 31 fantasy points, but then bounced back with 50 the next game. So he has typically had a good game after he has a bad game. So I would expect Jimmy Butler to be much better than he was in game 1 of this series. I expect him to be aggressive. He only took like 13 or 14 shots in game 1. Like, that's really unlike him. We normally see Jimmy take 20-plus shots a game. And I know that Tyler Hero does have a chance to return for this game. I don't think that really has too much of an impact, though, on Jimmy Butler. And I would think if Tyler Hero does return for this game, he might come off the bench. He might be somewhat limited as well because he's been out for so long. I don't think it's going to have really an impact on like the main guys, Jimmy, Bam. I still expect their roles to be pretty big. So that's the first play I do like for today for this game. It's going to be Jimmy Butler, more than 48.5 fantasy score. And then the other play that I like to pair with that is actually going to be a first quarter prop. We're going to go to the minutes played category for the first quarter. We're going to take a look at Nikola Jokic's minutes played, 11.5 minutes played in the first quarter. And I actually like the over here for Nikola Jokic. So if you look at Jokic so far in the postseason, he has played the entire first quarter in 5 out of their last 7 playoff games. So Game 5 against Phoenix, he played the entire first quarter. Game 6 against Phoenix, he played the entire first quarter. Game 1 against the Lakers, he played, I believe, 11.5 minutes, so he played like right around this line. But then Game 2 against the Lakers, he played the entire first quarter. Game 3 against the Lakers, he only played 10 minutes. But then Game 4 against the Lakers, played the entire first quarter. And then Game 1 of this series, last game, he played the entire first quarter. Jokic has typically played the entire first quarter, most of their playoff games. I don't know exactly how many playoff games they've had. I'm going to take a look at this real quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So far in the playoffs, he's played the entire first quarter in 8 games, and they have played 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they played 16 games in the playoffs. He's played the entire first quarter in 8 out of those 16 games, but a large majority of the games where he has played the entire first quarter have been like as of later in the postseason when every game gets more important. And we've seen as of late with Game 5 against Phoenix, Game 6 against Phoenix, Game 4 against the Lakers, like these really important games, Jokic played the entire first quarter in all those games. Obviously, the finals, every game is super important, especially later on in the series. Game 1, Jokic played the entire first quarter, and I think barring foul trouble or anything like a random injury or something, I think Jokic plays the entire first quarter. I think that's just going to be how they run their rotation. I would assume, typically Jamal Murray subs out a little bit early. Jamal Murray usually subs out with like 8. He'll sub out like after about 9 minutes, so he'll typically sub out with like 2 or 3 minutes left in the quarter. Jokic will play out the entire first quarter, and then Jokic obviously will take a rest to start the second quarter, and that's when Jamal Murray will come back in. Mike Malone has said he wants one of Jokic or Murray on the floor at all times, and it's typically Jokic who plays the entire first quarter, and then Murray will take a rest. He'll sub back in to start the second. So I know this line is at 11.5, and there's definitely a way this line, this could miss. Like there could be like a foul with like 30 seconds left or 40 seconds left in the first quarter, and then Jokic subs out to get like an early rest. but I think he's going to play the entire first quarter every game in this series, like unless he gets in foul trouble or something. So while PrizePicks is still offering this line, I'm going to take this. I was interested to see if they would offer like a first quarter prop, like first quarter minutes prop for Jimmy Butler, and they don't have one up for Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler's been playing the entire first quarter like every game lately, and Jokic pretty much has as well. 5 out of their last 7 playoff games, he's played the entire first quarter. So that's a prop that I do like is Nikola Jokic more than 11.5 first quarter minutes. I think, this might be a little bit of a risky one. This is the first time I've ever taken like a first quarter minutes played prop, but these are some new props that PrizePicks added, and I wanted to kind of take a look at them, see if there's any edges, see if I can find anything I like. And I think this is one that does give us a little bit of an edge here. I think Jokic is going to play the whole first quarter, pretty much every game in this series. I'd be surprised if he doesn't, or at least like almost the entire quarter. Maybe he'll sub out with like 30 seconds left to get like an early breather. Hopefully he doesn't for our sake, but yeah, more times than not, I think Jokic is playing the entire first quarter, pretty much every game in this series. So those are the 2 props I'm liking for tonight's game, guys, for Game 2 on Sunday. Jimmy Butler, more than 48.5 fantasy score, and then Nikola Jokic, more than 11.5 minutes in the first quarter. Again, to find that prop on PrizePicks, you just go to the NBA 1Q, that's first quarter prop, or that's first quarter plays, like, different stats, and you can go to minutes played, and that's where you can find that. But these are 2 props I like, taking a first look at the board right now on Saturday when I'm recording this video. But I will be sharing some more plays that I like for this game. I'll probably share at least like 2 or 3 more props if I can find 2 or 3 more plays I like. For this one, I'll be sharing those over on Patreon. So if you guys do want more PrizePicks plays from me, if you enjoy these YouTube videos and they help you out and you want more content from me, I do give that out over on Patreon. Check that out, linked down below in the description if you are interested. But wish you guys the best of luck tonight. Appreciate you watching the video as always and supporting the content. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button as well. And go check out PrizePicks too. If you're not signed up for PrizePicks yet, sign up. Use that promo code NOAH. Get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. But that's all that I got for tonight, guys. Wish you the best of luck on this slate. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.